we might as well.
We might as well just go into the Call of Duty commercials.
They're
Absolutely okay. So, if you've been following, I haven't really. It's been building more and more. I'd say the past 2 years. I think it was with the first Black Ops game when you really saw the average people running around.
Modern Warfare 3, I think is what it was.
Was it Modern Warfare 3? So you start with, this is the first commercial I'm ever seeing where no gameplay at all. Big Hollywood multi-million-dollar commercial where you have people running around like. It's like a pizza delivery guy with an Uzi, and then you have like a soccer mom with a rocket launcher, and they're all happy, they're all shooting at a nondescript enemy, and it's like what was the tagline? It was like almost like have you gamed today or something?
I think the tagline was "fucking tasteless."
was
the tagline because I find that awful.
But it evolved from there. That was the first. I think it was the first Black Ops game, or whichever one came out a year or two ago, where you had a Robert Downey Jr. appearing. You had that big Russian YouTube channel guy, the guy that fires off real guns. He appeared in the commercial. Remember, you had the girl on the horse running and like dropping bombs on people. Then it went from that to the one with Jonah Hill teaming up with Channing Tatum. They had the 21 Jump Street movie coming out. I think it was last summer. And then they're advertising one. Again, big budget productions. They're shooting and having fun. And Jonah Hill gets better at the game. My point is, are we really at the point now where we've gone full circle to where back 30 years ago, you couldn't really show the gameplay because the games were that bad. Now, you're not showing the gameplay in commercials either because you are so entrenched with your fan base that you don't respect them enough to show the new gameplay, or the games have changed so little that you don't have to show the gameplay year after year because there's nothing new.
I think it's something different.
Or is it simply the other third option? Is it simply just, I think I used the word circle jerk, that, hey, we have to keep just our marketing appeal up to people and even know about this, so we have to produce over-the-top commercials just to make sure people still know there's a Call of Duty franchise, which is ridiculous, being that it's like the biggest game franchise.
All right, so to back up, I mean, I realize that I sound intense when I state an opinion. I really don't like the tone of the commercials. I realize that this is nothing more than basically, I'm here, Patrick. I realize this is nothing more than basically online laser tag, and that's fine. The way they portray the modern war theme is kind of disturbing to me, that people are running around with guns, and what you don't get is the consequence. They are firing off guns, and they don't show them firing off at anything, because that is the tasteful way to make it a commercial.
Yes.
But I mean, even in the game, you're shooting other people. I mean, it's still a simulation of war. And you know what? I don't give a shit if you enjoy it. That's fine. I have friends who enjoy it, and I played a lot of Call of Duty 4. That's a secret there, guys. I played a lot of 4 and I enjoyed it, but I don't like the cheery gamification of warfare.
And it's really the one that came out, a few days ago, I guess the release trailer or release commercial with Megan Fox of all people, where it's 4 people and they have to get one of every type of gamer. You have a white kid, you have an African American kid, you have a chubby gamer, and they're all palling around together, shooting in the back of their Jeep, and smiles on their faces as they're blowing people up.
It couldn't be more bros having a bro time is exactly what that commercial was.
But I'm asking, who is that commercial for? Because if you like Call of Duty, you're going to buy it already. If you don't know what Call of Duty is that going to sell you? I would say no. It's like, what the hell was that a movie commercial? There's no gameplay. Right. The only reason you know it's a game because at the end of the commercial you see, now on Xbox and the PlayStation. That's the only way you know it's a video game. That's it.
To touch back on what I meant to actually say the first time was, I feel like the other option that you didn't touch on was, this is big now and it's a money-making thing, and I feel like to a degree there's still a bit of embarrassment that it's a video game. They don't show the gameplay because they don't want you to know that they're selling a video game. Basically, it gets the attention, it gets the word out, you talk to it, you find out it's a video game, but I feel like maybe to marketing there's this cheesy bit of dark secret if they actually show, a screenshot.
You think so?
Yeah, I think there is. I think there's still that mindset that games are for kids or for basement dwellers. No matter how popular games get, there's still that stigma attached to them. There still is. It still exists. It's getting bigger, but they're getting bigger, but that stigma still is attached. And I feel like by dodging it's a big enough name people already know about, and by not putting video games in there, they can advertise the name, they can advertise the brand without reminding people who don't care that it's a video game.
It's almost like the people at, at what is it, Activision? I don't even fucking know. They almost wish they were producing a movie. That's like, it's like, look at us, we're transcending video games, and now it's a movie. And almost like they're getting the rocks off on that aspect. You know what I mean? It's almost like the fact that they can recruit Hollywood stars to it makes it seem more important a game, or more important an event than it really is. It's like some sort of weird thing going on. Like, even the GTA games don't do that. And that's like GTA sells 1 billion games, but even they show gameplay. Even they know that at the core, that's what we do. We show the gameplay.
Right.
I
think it's worth mentioning. It's not based on the commercial, but I should mention that from a customer standpoint, how bored these people seem with what they're buying, yet they feel like they're doing it out of duty. And the fact that...
out of their Call of Duty.
Yeah, no pun intended. But, and the fact that you mentioned GTA 5 is a reason I'm thinking about it. I had a guy come in today and he bought Call of Duty. I was like, so...
Ghost Dogs?
Ghost Dogs, yeah. Starring Forrest Whitaker in the next commercial. I'm like, what are you looking forward to? Just to create chat. I want to know if there's maybe something like this.
The fire and a gun.
No. And he kind of looked at me and he goes, nothing really, but, it's the new one that's out and my friends are getting it.
Oh,
so
God.
I have to get it too. And that sort of thing, sort of mindset has been around. I got a lot of that with GTA 5. And just to throw back to...
But that's not a yearly franchise.
No, it's not. But it's just, I feel... But it's still something that's recycling formula. And for all the people who attacked me when I dared to say I didn't want to play GTA 5. There's a lot of boredom surrounding that when it came out too. I cannot tell you how many used copies I've already seen of GTA 5 because people just were like, I'm done with it. It's not as exciting as I thought. Call of Duty Ghost. People are buying it expecting to be bored. They're just doing it so they can keep up with their friends and keep playing online. But that's not fun.
Are they adding enough that I'm trying to rationalize this, because I rag on the Call of Duty games just because I hate the fact that, not that they're dumbed down first-person shooters, the fact that they're supposed to convey realism when they're not realistic. The only thing realistic about them are the weapons, but other than that, they're not realistic. But my problem is that obviously they're not adding enough. Are they adding enough to justify? The answer is no. To justify a $60 purchase each and every year.
This is what I've heard, and this is from a person who only played one. Call of Duty 4 was enough to justify the purchase for a lot of people because it was modern,
yes.
And it was the one that really brought the online to the forefront.
Yeah.
And then I heard Black Ops 2 last year was a very worthwhile purchase for a lot of people.
Okay.
They added a ton. The near future setting let them get away from the boring, modern war thing that a lot of people were burning out on. They added, I guess, a lot of online options. Now, keep in mind, listeners, this is not coming from a person who's playing. I'm just stating the opinions of customers.
We're going to backtrack to the Call of Duty.
Okay.
Where we left off on the Call of Duty, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we were talking about really the Hollywood commercials and using the regular people. And just real quick to reiterate, that what's disturbing to me about that, using the normal folks in a commercial, is that there's no consequence at all to showing all these people, the pizza guy, called everyone can be a gamer and go to war and shoot around, and doing the John Woo, double guns, which does not appear in the game. You can't do that. It's and this is coming from someone, I said before, that I'm not anti-gun at all. But to me, you have to show some sort of responsibility when it comes to firearms.
Yes.
And when you're showing people running around, literally with a smile on their face. In the new commercial with Megan Fox, you have 4 gamers. You have of all types. You have the nerd one, you have the chubby one, you have an African American, you have another bro one, and they're having fun. Group of guys shooting up guns, and it doesn't show them like getting shot. It doesn't show the horror of war.
Right, it shows them firing off the gun. It doesn't show what they're firing into, which even in the game is people. And that's the problem. You don't have to show me blood and entrails to show me consequence. But even the Battlefield ones, you don't have to go all party time on the theme.
Yeah.
You can do a decent war game based commercial. Like I said, Battlefield tends to do them okay. You just show the gravity of the situation to some degree.
Yeah, well, like I said, again, this was cut off, I guess, for some people. G.I. Joe, a cartoon 30 years ago, that was a war cartoon fighting terrorists, remember. Cobra was a terrorist organization. It was aimed towards kids. It was written for adults, though, but aimed towards kids. But even that show in the early 80s had enough responsibility, the creators said, and if you watch the episodes, you see, in just about every episode, one of the G.I. Joes gets hurt or injured. It's not all fun and games. There is consequence to war. They might have gotten killed in the episodes, except for Duke getting killed in G.I. Joe the movie, which they retcon because people were upset. But G.I. Joe's got knocked out. They got hurt every episode. Some bad shit happened.
Right.
That if a cartoon 30 years ago is having more social responsibility than a freaking modern day commercial, especially in our PC age too, which is what's surprising to me. It blows my mind that occurs. And then throwing in the Hollywood actors just to show, wow, we're cool enough, we're important enough that we can get Megan Fox and Tatum Channing or Channing Tatum, whatever his name is, and Jonah Hill on our commercial, Robert Downey Jr. It's like, who are the commercials for at that point? Who are you going after? It's just to fluff yourself up, have a circle jerk that you have this great franchise, you can attract Hollywood stars and pay them probably hundreds of thousands of dollars to appear in your commercial that costs you a few million to do. I don't know.
Well, and if we got cut off, I mean, the thing that I wanted to mention too is I feel like there is, to a degree, one of the reasons you don't see gameplay footage is because they're embarrassed of the fact that they're advertising a video game. Video games still hold a social stigma. I mean, they're getting more and more popular every year, but there is still a stigma attached to video games. Call of Duty is one of the most popular, and to advertise it without showing gameplay is a tiny admission of we're kind of embarrassed of what we do, but here's some Hollywood stars. It's okay that, you know, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, plays this because, hey, Hollywood accepts it. And by the way, this is, you know, they don't deny that it's a game. They have to show at the end that there's, you know, it's on the platforms. But they seem to avoid the fact that it's a video game at all costs.
So there you have it.
It's a spectacle.